Ryan Wells walked down the cold metal hallway of the mining station. It was quiet. Too quiet. The lights flickered above him, and his tool bag bounced against his leg with each step. He didn't like working in Sector 7. No one did. That part of the station was always dark, half-broken, and filled with strange noises from the pipes. But the worst part? It had only one resident, an alien mercenary named Velari. She wasn't like the other aliens Ryan had seen before. She was tall, strong, and quiet. Her skin was a soft silver blue, and her eyes were sharp like a hunter's. No one spoke to her, unless they had to. People said she had killed 5 pirates with her bare hands. Some believed she wasn't even a real soldier, just a weapon in disguise. Ryan had never dared to talk to her. Until today, he'd received a repair request from Sector 7. Power issues, again. As always, he hoped he could get in, fix the wires, and leave before running into her. But as he turned the corner, he stopped. Her door was open just a crack. His curiosity pulled him forward. Maybe she wasn't inside. Maybe he could just peek and confirm she wasn't there. He told himself it was to stay safe. But when he looked through the crack, he saw her. Velari was standing with her back to him, removing the heavy armor from her shoulders. Her silver blue skin shimmered in the low light. She moved with slow, graceful motions, not like a soldier, but like a dancer. Strange markings glowed faintly on her back, like tattoos alive with energy. Ryan gasped quietly. She turned. Their eyes met. For a moment, time froze. He expected her to shout, to rush at him, to throw him into the wall. But she didn't. Velari just looked at him. And then she smiled. Just a little. Ryan's heart raced. He backed away quickly, tripping over his own feet. His face burned with shame. He didn't stop running until he reached the maintenance deck. What did I just do? He whispered, breathing hard. That night, he couldn't sleep. His thoughts kept returning to her face. That look, that strange, quiet smile. It wasn't anger. It wasn't even surprise. It was something else. Something that made his stomach twist with confusion. At midnight, his comm device beeped. One message. We need to talk. Come alone. Observation Deck 3. There was no name. But Ryan knew who sent it. He stared at the screen for a long time. He could ignore it. Pretend it never happened. Just go to sleep and forget everything. But he couldn't. His legs moved on. Their own as he grabbed his jacket and left his room. The corridors were empty. The station always felt like a ghost town after midnight. When he reached Observation Deck 3, he saw her. Velari stood near the window, staring at the stars. She didn't turn when he entered. You came, she said softly. Ryan swallowed hard. I didn't mean to spy on you. I'm sorry. She finally turned. Her eyes met his again. Not angry. Calm. Measuring. You looked, she said, stepping closer. Why? Ryan stammered. I didn't know you were there. The door was open. I was checking the wiring, and you saw something. Different, didn't you? She interrupted. He blinked. What? You saw more than you think, she said. You noticed something. A detail. Something no one else would have seen. Ryan's mind raced. What was she talking about? I saw your back, he said slowly. There were glowing marks. Like patterns. Her eyes narrowed. Describe them. He tried. They moved. They pulsed. Like breathing. Velari smiled again. This time, a full smile. That's what I needed to know, she said. Ryan stared at her. I don't understand. She stepped even closer, now just a few feet away. I'm not here to protect this station, Ryan. That's just a cover. I'm hunting something. Something dangerous. Something that can hide in plain sight. He felt cold. What kind of something? A shapeshifter, she said. It wears the faces of others, copies them. It's already killed once. And I believe it's here. Ryan shook his head. What does that have to do with me? You saw something your brain couldn't explain, Villari said. Your kind notices things others miss. Flaws, changes, details. That glimpse, it tells me you might be useful. His mouth felt dry. Useful for what? She leaned in. For catching a killer. The stars outside burned brighter as silence filled the room. And deep inside him, Ryan knew. His quiet life was over. Ryan stood frozen. His heart pounded so hard, he thought Villari could hear it. She was close now, too close. Her presence felt like standing near a wild animal, beautiful, powerful, and unpredictable. Ri turned away from him and looked out the wide glass panel at the stars again. I know what you're thinking, she said calmly. You want to leave, run back to your quiet job. Pretend you didn't see anything. She paused. But you won't. Ryan stayed silent. She was right. I didn't mean to look, he said finally. But what I saw, those markings, I've never seen anything like it. They're not tattoos, Villari said. They're warnings. Old warnings. They only appear when danger is close. I didn't expect them to activate today. He frowned. And you think the shapeshifter is here? Villari nodded. Yes. It's watching us, maybe testing us. And now that it knows you notice something, you're not safe anymore. Ryan felt a chill in his spine. Why me? She looked at him seriously. Humans have strange eyes, not your sight, your attention. You notice patterns, changes in movement, emotional shifts. You spot lies without knowing how. That makes you a threat to something that hides in plain sight. Ryan looked down. I'm not a soldier. I fix wires. Good, Villari said. That means you won't try to be a hero. You'll survive longer. That didn't comfort him at all. She reached into her coat and pulled out a small black device. It looked like a coin, but with a glowing red center. What's that? He asked. A false heart reader, she said. It scans nearby beings for mimic faults. Shapeshifters copy shapes well, but they miss small things, pulse patterns, heat rhythms, stress signals. This can detect those flaws. She placed it in his palm. It was warm, like it was alive. If you feel watched, hold this tight. If it glows white, run. Ryan stared at the device. Why me? Why not give this to security? Villari's eyes darkened. Because I don't trust anyone here. Not even them, the thing we're hunting. It might already be one of them. The idea made Ryan sick. What if it was someone he passed in the hallway every day? What if it was one of his coworkers? I need your help, she said, softer this time. You didn't ask for this, but you're already in it. Ryan looked up. Her eyes, alien and beautiful, held no lies. Okay, he said finally. What do we do? Villari tapped a few buttons on her wrist device. A 3D map of the station lit up in red light above her palm. We scan key areas tomorrow. Maintenance decks, hydrocore rooms, sleeping quarters. You pretend to fix things. I'll watch from the shadows. She marked 3 points in glowing blue. Start with Sector 3. Quiet, empty. If it's hiding, it'll be somewhere like that. What? If I see something strange, say nothing. Do nothing. Just walk away. Then contact me. Ryan nodded. Okay, but why now? Why is it here? Villari looked out at the stars again. They're searching for something. Or someone. They move from station to station, blending in, learning, and killing. Why kill? They feed on identity, she whispered. They become their victims, wear their faces, use their voices. That's how they survive. Ryan's stomach twisted. He imagined someone walking through the station, wearing another person's skin like a mask. Velari turned to leave. "Wait," Ryan called. "What happens if it finds out I'm helping you?" She didn't answer right away. Her voice was cold. "When she did, then it will try to become you." The doors hissed open behind her. She stepped out into the hallway and vanished into the dark. Ryan stood there, still holding the warm device in his hand. He didn't sleep that night. Asterisk. Ryan moved through the station the next morning like a ghost. His tool bag bounced lightly against his leg, just like always. But everything felt different now. He wasn't just fixing wires anymore. He was hunting something. Or worse, being hunted. He passed workers who smiled, nodded, and waved. Were they real? Were they still themselves? The thought crept into his mind like a cold breeze. He entered Sector 3, a rarely used corridor filled with old machines and unused supply crates. The lights flickered here more than usual. It was quiet, too quiet. He pulled out the small black disc Velari had given him, the false heart reader. It lay still in his hand, the red glow dim. So far, nothing. Ryan crouched and opened a wall panel, pretending to work. But his real focus was scanning, watching, listening. Suddenly, he heard footsteps. Slow, soft, not mechanical boots. Bare feet. He stayed still. A shadow moved past the corner humanoid. But something was wrong. The gait was off. The left foot turned slightly inward, like it didn't know how to walk naturally. Ryan tightened his grip on the scanner. The glow flickered, then glowed white for a split second. His breath caught. Whoever it wasn't real, but just as fast, the glow faded back to red. The figure passed and disappeared into the far hallway. Ryan didn't chase. He did exactly what Velari told him. He packed up, stood, and walked away. Later, in the service lift, he activated his comlink. Sector 3, it passed near me. It glitched, just for a second. Velari's voice came through the speaker, calm and cold. "You did well. You saw the glitch?" Ryan nodded, though she couldn't see him. Its walk was wrong. Too perfect, but slightly broken. "That's how they lose control," Velari said. "Their mimic is strong, but not perfect. Small patterns break." She met him in an old cargo bay an hour later. No lights. No cameras. Just silence. "You were lucky," she told him. "It doesn't know you saw it. Yet." He pulled out the scanner. This thing turned white. Just for a flash? Yes. That means it was close. Very close. Velari paced a few steps, thinking. It's learning. Testing us. Trying to see who's watching. Ryan sat down on a crate. "I don't understand. Why does it care about me? I'm just a technician." Velari knelt beside him. "Because you notice something most don't. That makes you a threat." He stared at the floor. "You said it feeds on identity, that it kills and copies. So if it wants to blend in, why not just disappear?" She looked at him seriously. "Because it's searching. Not just for a face, but for information, memories, access. That means it needs someone useful." She tapped a few commands into her wristband. A blue hologram appeared. 3 names. Ryan leaned forward. One was a medical officer, one was a security tech, and one was Ryan Wells. He swallowed hard. "You think it might become me?" "It already might be trying," Velari said. "That's why we must move faster," Ryan blinked. "Wait, how do I know you're not one of them?" She didn't flinch. Instead, she held out her bare hand. "Scan me." He hesitated, then held the reader over her palm. The glow stayed solid red. She smiled. "Satisfied?" Ryan nodded slowly. "I think so." "Good," she said. "Because tonight we bait it." He looked at her, confused. How? She stood up. You're going to lie. Tell someone you found a data file. Something important. Something the creature might want. Spread it through comms, loud enough for spies to hear. He shook his head. That's dangerous. Yes, she said. But you won't be alone. I'll be watching. If it comes for you, we catch it. Ryan didn't like it, but he nodded Dot as he left the cargo bay. His mind buzzed with one thought. What? If it looks like him, before he gets the chance to stop it? Asterisk. The mining station floated in silence above the dead moon, its metal skin cold under the stars. Inside, Ryan Wells walked through the halls, like a man wearing a mask, smiling, nodding, pretending everything was normal. But inside, his thoughts were anything but calm. He was the bait. Villari's plan was simple. Plant a lie, make it sound real, and wait for the creature to take interest. Ryan had never lied like this before. Not to friends. Not to his crew. But today, he stood in the break room and spoke into the open comms. I found something strange in the old terminal logs. He said casually, pretending to sip his coffee. Encrypted files. Looked like off-world tech. Might be valuable. He knew exactly who would hear that message. The thing pretending to be human. Vlari was already watching from the ceiling vents. She moved like a shadow, now avoiding cameras, staying off logs. Even the station's I didn't know she was there. Ryan placed the small false heart reader in his pocket and returned to maintenance, like everything was fine. Hours passed. Nothing happened. He almost began to relax. Until someone appeared at his workstation. Hey, Ryan, said a soft voice. He looked up and froze. It was Kara, the engineering assistant. They'd shared food many times. She always joked about his messy wires. But something felt off. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Mind if I take a look at those logs you mentioned? She asked, too sweetly. Ryan's fingers tightened around the reader in his pocket. Sure, he said slowly, standing up. But they're encrypted. Might take a while. Kara stepped closer. That's okay. I'm patient. Ryan pulled out the reader, just enough to glance at it. White. Not a flicker. Not a flash. Bright, steady white. His chest tightened. She wasn't Kara. Not anymore. He forced a smile. Actually, the files are in the back terminal. I can show you. Great, she said. He turned and began walking. Kara followed, too. Close. Too quiet. Through the narrow hallways, past the flickering lights. Ryan led her to the decompression room, where Vlari was waiting in the crawl space above as they entered the chamber. Ryan tapped the silent alarm Vlari had placed earlier. A tiny click, barely heard, but enough. He turned around. Wait here. I'll unlock the console. Kara tilted her head. Why are you sweating, Ryan? He forced a laugh. It's hot in here. She stepped forward again, but this time, something twitched in her face too fast. Like her skin struggled to hold its shape. You know, she said softly, you're not very good at hiding fear. And then she dropped the act. Her eyes turned black. Her jaw shifted. Her smile peeled back too wide. Ryan stumbled back. The creature lunged, but before it reached him, a beam of violet light hit its chest, throwing it into the wall. Vlari dropped from the ceiling like a hawk. In one move, she pulled Ryan behind her and raised her bladed weapon. Run! She barked. Ryan didn't argue. As the two clashed, sparks flew. The shapeshifter struck like lightning, its form changing between Kara, another man, even Vlari herself. It didn't fight fair. It didn't need to, but Vlari had trained for this. She moved like when cutting, dodging, spinning. Her blade sliced through illusions, revealing the creature's real shape beneath. Gray, slick skin, black eyes, too many fingers. A jaw that split both ways, that it shrieked like metal tearing apart. Velari stabbed it through the chest, that it didn't die. Not yet. But it dropped, wounded. Ryan helped her up. Is it dead? No, Velari said, breathing hard. But it's scared. The creature crawled back, still twitching, still changing. It tried to speak, copying Kara's voice again, but Ryan stepped forward. You're not her, he said coldly. The creature hissed. Velari raised her blade, and then, with one final look, it vanished, melting through the vent shaft and into the pipes. Damn, Velari growled. It's escaping. Ryan looked at her. What now? She wiped her blade. Now we hunt. The lights on the mining station flickered more than usual. Some said it was just power issues. But Ryan Wells knew better. Something evil still crawled through the walls, wounded, angry, and wearing stolen faces. The creature had escaped there. Ambush in the decompression room. Velari had heard it, but not enough. Now it was hiding again. Waiting. Watching. But this time, they would choose the battlefield. VLAR. I stood in front of the central holonap, her blade resting on the table beside her. Her expression was unreadable, calm, but Ryan had started to understand something about her. When she was calm like this, it meant she was ready to kill. She pointed to a glowing dot on the map. Sector 12. Low traffic. Poor cameras. Good escape routes. Ryan nodded. That's where we lure it? Yes, she said. We feed it a lie. We say we found its escape pod, one with enough data to expose it. And then we watch who comes to. Take the bait, Ryan hesitated. What if it doesn't show up? Velari looked him in the eyes. It will. It's bleeding. It's afraid, and afraid things make mistakes. They set the trap in motion. Ryan returned to the break room, acted, nervous, and whispered just loud enough for others to overhear. I found something weird in the pod logs. Escape pod Beta 3. Sector 12. Might be related to the attack. Then he left, pretending not to notice the stares that followed him. Hours passed. Tension stretched like a wire inside him. Then it snapped. Velari's voice came through the hidden earpiece. It's moving. West corridor. Same size, same heat signature. Coming straight for Sector 12. Ryan's pulse quickened. He was already there inside the pod bay, pretending to inspect wires. He looked up when the door opened. And froze. It wasn't Kara. This time. It was him. Same face. Same clothes. Same scar on the chin. Another Ryan stood in the doorway. Hello. The copy said, voice perfect. You must be me. Ryan backed away slowly. You made a mistake. The creature tilted its head. Did I? You walk like prey, not bait? Behind it, the air shimmered. Veil AR. I dropped from the ceiling like a hawk again, sword raised. She struck, but this time, the creature was ready. It split its skin, tearing into two perfect copies of Ryan, each moving in opposite directions. Velari cursed and slashed at the first. It dodged. The second one ran. Ryan yelled. It's trying to escape. One clone dove for the exit, but Ryan kicked a loose crate in its path. The creature stumbled. Velari turned, fast as light, and sliced through its leg. It screamed and turned back into its real form. It wasn't perfect now. Its face flickered between Kara, Ryan, and a dozen other victims it had copied before. Its skin was cracked, twitching. It was dying, but still dangerous. It looked at Ryan with strange black eyes. You're just a technician. Why fight me? Ryan stepped forward, holding the false heart reader in his fist. Because I saw you, he said. And you made a mistake by letting me live. The creature lunged one last time. VLAR. I didn't hesitate. Her blade pierced its chest, glowing with bright blue energy. The screen that followed was not human. not alien. It sounded like the void itself crying out. Then the body fell twisting, and shrinking until it was nothing but ash and bone. Silence returned to the pod bay. Velari lowered her blade. "It's done," she said. Ryan leaned against the wall, shaking. "Are we sure it was the only one?" Velari didn't answer immediately. She knelt, picked up a shard of black crystal left behind by the creature's body. "I think so," she said. "This is their core. Without it, they can't hide." Ryan stared at the ashes. "It copied me, perfectly. My voice, my walk, even my habits." "Yes," Velari said. "It tried to become you." He looked at her. "How did you know which one was me?" She smiled faintly. "You flinch when someone says your name too suddenly." "The copy didn't?" Ryan blinked. "That's it? That's all I needed." Asterisk. The station alarms went silent. The hunt was over, or so they hoped. Ryan stood beside Velari in the empty pod bay. The creature's remains ash, crystal, pieces of things that never belonged to any real species, lay scattered across the floor like broken lies that it had tried to steal his life. And now it was gone. But Ryan didn't feel like a hero. He felt changed. Velari stepped closer and handed him a small silver disc. It hung gently in his hand. "What is this?" he asked. "A memory lock," she said. "It records what happened. Stores every move the shapeshifter made. This is proof." Ryan turned the disc in his hand. "Proof for who?" "For the ones who still don't believe your species can see what others miss," Velari said, her eyes never leaving his. "They'll believe now." He looked around the quiet room. "What happens to me? Do I go back to fixing wires like this never happened?" Velari didn't answer at first. Instead, she walked to the viewport, looking out at the stars. "There are more of them, Ryan, not just one. This was a scout, a test. Others will come." He felt a chill crawl down his spine. "And what do we do when they arrive?" She turned. "We stop them." Ryan gave a bitter laugh. "We? I don't even know how to fight. I just noticed something weird through a half-open door." Velari stepped closer. "You noticed something no one else did. That's rare. You didn't freeze. You learned quickly. You saw past the illusion." He looked at her. "So what? You want me to become a spy now? Some kind of hunter like you?" "No," she said. "Not like me. Something better. Something new. A bridge between worlds." Ryan didn't speak for a long time. He stared down at the memory lock in his hand. His fingers closed around it. Finally, he asked, "If I say yes, what happens next?" Velari smiled. "Then we leave this station tonight. I train you. You learn how to see deeper, how to track, hide, and survive. And when the next one comes, we'll already be there, waiting. And if I say no?" She looked at him for a long moment. "Then you go back to your room. Forget everything. I wipe your file. No one will know what you did, not even you." Ryan looked out the viewport with her. The stars stretched forever. "I never wanted this," he whispered. "I didn't either," she said softly. Then silence. And then his voice calm, clear and certain. "Let's go." Velari turned, her eyes sharp but warm. "Good. I already packed your bag." Ryan laughed. "Wait, really?" She nodded. "Also, I ate your protein bar. I was hungry." He shook his head. "You're lucky. I'm not the vengeful type." Velari raised an eyebrow. "Are you sure?" He smirked. "No, but I learn fast." The two of them left the station quietly. No fanfare, no medals, no records. Just one ship, two souls, and a mission too big to explain. Back in the empty pod bay, the memory lock blinked softly. It waited. Just in case someone came looking for the truth. And far, far away, another shapeshifter opened its eyes. Asterisk.